So for children who are in the age range of birth to 3, to qualify for services, you would take an I-report to the ECI provider, and they would look at that with you, and if there looks like there's some concerns, then they will contact the teacher of the visually impaired in that service area, and that will be the person from your local school district. We are mandated by the state to serve students in this age range. There's not funding that goes with that, but we are mandated to do these services for 0 to 3-year-olds. And so that information is then, with parent permission, shared with that teacher of the visually impaired, and now also with an orientation mobility specialist. And they would look at that, and based on the seriousness of the vision loss, the VI teacher would come in and look at your child's, they would look at how they access the environment, how they're accessing their toys. Is there a need to provide some more print or braille-rich environment to help them reach those developmental milestones? Those are the things that the teacher of the visually impaired and the orientation mobility specialist look at. We really just do it from 2 different vantage points. So the orientation mobility is really looking from thinking long-term, we're going to get this child up and moving, whereas the VI teacher, it's more like access to the materials and that kind of thing, as opposed to so much access to the environment and movement. So that's pretty much how the birth to 3 would work. How do I support that? Parents will call me, trying to find out, to make sure they're in the right district. Maybe they need some training. They're calling to see if there's something we're offering. Maybe they didn't get in touch with their DARS person, or they had a change in personnel. So, I can lead them in the right direction. I'm not doing direct provision of services out of this service center, but there are service centers that do that. So it's just different in each catchment area. So you have to look into that in your local area. For students who are in the 3 to 5-year-old range, it's very similar in terms of the eligibility and what we're looking for. It's just that all of that is done through your local school district. So you'll have like a child find coordinator or someone in that local district that picks up on that I-report that you bring into them. And then, with your permission, that information again is shared with the teacher of the visually impaired, and they're usually the point person that looks at that, and then the decision's made whether to make a referral and begin the process of doing that evaluation by the teacher of the visually impaired and the orientation mobility specialist. It would be the same for a child with deaf blindness. At this point, we don't have teachers of the deaf blind in Texas yet, but there is a push to make that happen. We're just not quite there yet.